Hello, my beautiful yellow bone, red bone, caramel, mixed race, biracial, multiracial, Blasian, mulatto, Afro-Latina, beige, brown, golden, Creole, Caribbean, Islander, West Indian, Guyanese, exotical. Welcome to the Pretty Girl Club. Welcome to the Exoticals United community. If you are new here, welcome. We may have different backgrounds, different accents, or hair textures, or nationalities, but at the end of the day, us exoticals support one another, and we are unapologetically supportive of our own phenotype. This channel is supportive of multiracial and light-skinned Black people. You may be asking, how do I know if I'm an exotical? Well, let me ask you a couple of questions. Can you relate to the documentary called Light Girls? Have you ever been called exotic by Black men? Have you ever been told that you benefit from things like featureism, texturism, or colorism? You're definitely an exotical. Here on this channel, we have the right to call ourselves by whatever nickname or term of endearment that we see fit. We embrace all parts of our heritage, and we refuse to be put in a box. On this channel, we do not tolerate any sort of gaslighting or policing of each other's identities. We already have enough people trying to do that to us. If you're new to this channel, you can expect to see a lot of unpopular opinions, a lot of pro-mixed race videos, and a little bit of trolling on occasion. This is supposed to be a fun community where you can hang out, meet people, and realize that you are not crazy. There are plenty of other exoticals out there who can relate to your story. This is a place where we can freely discuss our issues and strategize. Today, I'm going to be talking about how mixed and light-skinned people are not allowed to have our own identities in the Black community. We are expected to follow along and be put into the quote-unquote unambiguous Black woman category. If you embrace your mixed race heritage at all, Blackistan is coming for you. There are a lot of gaslighting techniques used against mixed people. For example, one of the main things people will say is, "You're not that light-skinned, you're too dark." And I'm going to use these two as an example. When they found out that Matt James from The Bachelor chose a non-Black girl, women were making fun of him, Black women in particular, were making fun of him, saying that he's too dark and that he doesn't even look mixed and that he hates himself and he hates how dark he is, which is why he chose a white woman. With True Thompson, I'm pretty sure that's her name, Khloe Kardashian's daughter, because people don't like Tristan Thompson or Khloe Kardashian, people were insulting True, saying that she's dark and ugly like her father Tristan. Another case is Bow Wow. When he wouldn't join in on Black Lives Matter conversations and he wouldn't go along with the Black community and their opinions, he got called a self-hater. Bow Wow tried to explain that at the end of the day, he is mixed race and he is a lighter-skinned Black male, and so his experiences and upbringing may not be the same as a darker-skinned, unambiguous Black male. But, of course, people began gaslighting him and saying, "You still look Black." And I've noticed that there's a pattern where whenever a mixed or light-skinned person talks about their experiences, people are quick to say, "You're still Black, you're still a nigga, you still have nappy hair and a big nose." Nobody even said that we don't look Black, so why does the Black community have to go out of their way to point out every Black feature on a mixed or light-skinned person and use it as an insult? Black women went in on Blue Ivy when she was a baby. Women were saying that she has nappy hair, and they even created a petition and signed a petition saying that her hair needed to be combed. People made memes about Blue Ivy saying she had big lips and a big nose, and it's so funny how these people project their own insecurities onto mixed and light-skinned people. But if you as a mixed or light-skinned person call out every Black feature on their face, you're a racist or a colorist. It seems like when it comes to the colorism and race conversation, it's very one-sided. And if you don't agree with everything they say, you will get insulted and told things like, "Well, you're not even light-skinned, you're not white passing," or here's my favorite, "We're all mixed." It's like these people are going out of their way to convince you that you're not that special and that you're just like them. The culture will go out of their way to invalidate your experience or invalidate your existence altogether and project their own insecurities and self-hatred onto you. The other day, I heard a dark-skinned Black man on YouTube say that your race is whatever white people see you as or whatever the police see you as. And that is completely false. White people don't get to determine my identity. And I'm tired of mixed and light-skinned people constantly letting other people tell us what box we fit in. We let white people create the one drop rule, and obviously that failed. And now we're letting black people create our rules and say that we're all black or we're all mixed and that we all fit into the same group. And that's not fair. White people get to pick how they identify themselves. Black people get to create their own spaces and communities. So why can't mixed and light-skinned people create our own? We don't fit into other people's boxes. We're the ones who are caught in between. Black people are not a monolith, and neither are mixed people. We don't all have the same upbringing, we don't all look alike, and there's nothing wrong with celebrating our own phenotype and our own cultures. Why is it that every other community gets to have a voice online and they make documentaries called Dark Girls, but as soon as mixed and light-skinned women make a documentary, there's outrage? That's because these dark-skinned black women want to control the narrative. They want to control the conversation and our identities. And I'm tired of having my blackness given and taken away at will. The black community has no problem using us when they need to make a change. Insert picture of Colin Kaepernick, or Jesse Williams, or Malcolm X. But suddenly, when we as the mixed community decide that we finally want to have a safe space to talk about our issues, there's outrage, and we are replacing other people. They accuse us of replacing them, when in reality, they want us to replace our own mixed heritage and call ourselves unambiguous black women. They will call everyone and their mom dark-skinned. They'll see celebrities and they'll be like, you're a dark-skinned black woman, you're a dark-skinned black woman, and you're dark-skinned, you're dark-skinned, we are all dark-skinned. They push us all into the unambiguous black category, and we will speak up and be like, hey guys, we're mixed, right? And they'll be like, oh, we don't care, we're all sisters. But then when we get too successful in the mixed community, then suddenly it's these light-skinned women are replacing us. They think they're better than us. They only got to where they are because of pretty privilege. This is a very common thing that we see all the time. They use their gaslighting techniques of insulting how we look. Have you ever noticed that anytime a mixed or light-skinned woman does something that a darker-skinned black woman does not agree with, their first line of defense is to come for our looks?
Honestly, y'all, I'm tired of these mediocre. I don't want no mediocre. I don't want no mediocre. No, bad bitches only. Ain't no mediocre. I'm tired of these mediocre, basic. Y'all mediocre. Now, I know these men gonna prop y'all up and tell y'all, oh, you prettier, you prettier. You're not. You're not. The test results came back, baby. And you're not.
Get a grip. Get real. Just because you're light skinned doesn't make you cute.
And a biracial woman who literally looks like Gonzo in the face. This woman has had a rhinoplasty. She's had tons of plastic surgery on her body and still doesn't look good. I'm way darker than she is, and she doesn't have one single feature that I want. Okay, first of all, can we agree that this woman really isn't even that light-skinned? These goggles are a hot fucking mess. The leave out on the top of her head, it looks like maybe she has about 4 inches of fried hair. It's not blending, boo. It's not blending with your wannabe real 24-inch Brazilian wavy. And it looks like old weave. The most average looking, mediocre, basic looking light-skinned chicks, it's always these basic looking light women. They're really not all that pretty. You walking in the store looking like a ghetto Beyonce Barbie.
She is single. So the baby has pretty much told her, YOLO, bona, what he want.
Looking at B. Simone, she has the facial features of an everyday light-skinned black woman. She's the average everyday light-skinned black woman.
These are the same exact women that say that they don't like when you make fun of how they look. And they'll call you a colorist or anti-black. But if a mixed or light-skinned woman does something they don't like, they will say things like, she's mediocre anyway. She's not pretty. She's just light-skinned. She's average without makeup. She's overweight. She has nappy hair. She's botched. She has a bad nose job. She still has a big nose. She has big lips. She still looks black. She's too dark to be mixed. They will come up with all of these things to try to convince people that mixed and light-skinned women are ugly. As if you can't be light-skinned and pretty at the same time. And when mixed and light skinned people speak up, we get told that we're crying light skinned tears and that we're privileged and that we need to have a seat and let the real black queens dominate the conversation. There seems to be this pattern where the black community will push mixed and light skinned people to the forefront because they feel like we as mixed people are more acceptable and palatable. But when us mixed and light skinned people actually are successful and we get notoriety and wealth, they get mad and say that we're replacing them. So that really tells me that what they were trying to do was use us to protest for them, to stand up for them, and they wanted to live vicariously through us and be associated with us. But when the larger American community as a whole begins to recognize us as mixed or light-skinned, then the black community suddenly gets mad and turns on us, and they say that we are replacing them. But in reality, we're not replacing them. A lot of these people have an inferiority complex to the point where they don't want to stand up on the forefront and speak out for themselves. They don't want to go and try out for that movie role. They don't want to try and win over 700 music awards because a lot of them feel like they can't do it. They don't believe in themselves, so they use us mixed people to break barriers for them. And then they will be intellectually dishonest and say, this person is black. Meghan Markle's black. Vanessa Williams is black, because they think it gives them a certain level of desirability. But in reality, if you don't look anything like Vanessa Williams or Meghan Markle, they are not really elevating your phenotype. And this is why people fight for diversity. I support mixed women of all phenotypes being represented in the media, but the problem with the black community is that a lot of them are intellectually dishonest. They say things like, we're all mixed, we're all biracial, and they're over here looking like Whoopi Goldberg, pretending that they look like Meghan Markle. Does Whoopi Goldberg have a white parent? Does Whoopi Goldberg have blue eyes or blonde hair? Does she look like Vanessa Williams? No. But a lot of these black women would rather pimp out us mixed women and force us to claim only being black because they think it's going to help them in the end. They think that our success will trickle down to them, and that's not how life works. But anyone who has eyes knows that most of these women in America don't look like Vanessa Williams. And I'm tired of us exoticals always being used as the faces of the black community, when in reality, we are mixed. And since these unambiguous black women, since they don't look like exoticals, they're not really going to benefit from exoticals being promoted in the media. And I feel like black women are starting to realize this, which is why there seems to be this new level of hatred towards multiracial black women now. They're using code words like colorism, texturism, and featureism to express their hate for multiracial black people. And I'm tired of it. We need our own community. It's not our fault that they decided to put us on a pedestal while throwing their own women under the bus. It's not our fault that they decided to support our music over their own. And these black women will blame everyone else for their problems but themselves. Obviously, I'm not talking about all, but a lot of them, they'll bash each other, they bash their men, they bash white people, and then they'll bash us mixed women. I'm not going to stop supporting my own people in the media. When I was a little girl, I loved watching anything that had another mixed or light-skinned girl in it. I watched The Cheetah Girls, Proud Family, Sister Sister, That's So Raven, and any other movie or show that had people in it that I could relate to. Every other ethnic group gets to support their own people, and it's not a problem. But as soon as mixed and light-skinned people start supporting our own, it's an issue. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll talk to you next time.